I discovered something that shook me to my core, hidden in plain sight for 700 years. The mystery of London reveals the ancient template of Babylon itself. Your mortgage, your credit, your retirement, everything flows through a system built on the Hebrew calendar to fulfill Revelation 18. The paradigm reveals this: on the exact coordinates where Mystery Babylon was prophesied to rise, there stands today the Bank of England. The biblical blueprint shows 7 hills, 7 institutions, the dragon guarding the gate. And according to the Hebrew, the timing is now, not tomorrow. Now. Your financial future is tied to a prophetic clock that's already counting down to judgment. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to show you changes everything you thought you knew about the end times. The ancient template hidden in London streets forms the exact pattern described in Revelation. I've walked those streets. I've measured the distances. I've seen the dragon symbols with my own eyes, and the harbinger warned us about this. The Shemitah cycle, the pattern of sevens, it's all connected to the financial system you depend on every single day. Your insurance, your savings, your debt, it's all flowing through modern Babylon. And judgment is coming. Comment below if you're ready to see the mystery unveiled, because once you see this ancient secret, you cannot unsee it. The mystery of London begins with a question most pastors will never ask you. Why does the financial capital of the world use the symbol of the dragon? Not hidden away, not concealed, but right there on the official seal of the City of London, 2 red dragons, guarding 1 square mile of concentrated financial power that controls global wealth. Now, according to the Hebrew scriptures, what does the dragon represent? Ha-Satan, the adversary, the ancient serpent. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9 identifies him clearly. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray, the whole world. And where does he lead them? To worship the beast, to take the mark, to participate in the economic system that denies them access to buying or selling without his seal. The biblical blueprint is exact. Revelation chapter 13 describes this system perfectly. And the paradigm reveals that it's not coming in some distant future. It's here, operating, controlling your money right now. I need you to understand something that will shake your faith in everything you've been taught about economics. The Bank of England was founded in 1694. But here's the mystery hidden in plain sight. It was founded exactly 1,260 years after a specific event in biblical prophecy. 1,260. Does that number sound familiar? It should. It's all through Revelation. The woman flees into the wilderness for 1,260 days. The 2 witnesses prophesy for 1,260 days. The beast is given authority for 42 months, which equals 1,260 days. This is not coincidence. This is the ancient template revealing itself in history. The same pattern, the same numbers, the same prophetic timeline, and it centers on the financial system that you trust with your retirement savings. On the Hebrew calendar, these patterns repeat. The Shemitah cycle of 7 years, the Jubilee cycle of 49 years. The harbinger showed us how America's greatest financial collapses happened on exact Shemitah years. September 2001, September 2008, exactly 7 years apart. The biblical blueprint doesn't lie. The pattern doesn't break. And right now, we're in another Shemitah cycle, another 7-year period, another countdown to judgment. The ancient template of Mystery Babylon was given to us in Revelation chapter 17. 7 hills, 7 kings. A woman dressed in purple and scarlet, glittering with gold and precious stones and pearls. She held a golden cup filled with abominable things. And on her forehead was written mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and of the abominations of the earth. Now here's what shocked me when I walked through London. The city of London, that 1 square mile financial district, it sits on the exact geographic formation described in this prophecy. 7 major financial institutions positioned like 7 hills. The streets form occult geometric patterns that match the descriptions in ancient mystical texts. And the woman, dressed in wealth and power, drunk on the blood of God's people, that's the system itself. The financial structure that makes martyrs of those who refuse to participate. That destroys anyone who speaks against it. That crushes the faithful under the weight of debt and economic pressure. According to the Hebrew understanding of Babylon, it's not just a city, it's a system, a structure, a spiritual force that enslaves through wealth and prosperity. Your mortgage is part of this ancient mystery. The word itself reveals the truth. Mort, death. Gage, pledge, a death pledge. You're binding your future, possibly until death, to an institution that traces its authority back to the dragon-guarded streets of London. And here's what the paradigm reveals. Every central bank in the world, including the Federal Reserve that controls your currency, was modeled after the Bank of England. Same structure, same purpose, same spiritual foundation. The Federal Reserve was created in 1913, but look at the Hebrew calendar. Look at the patterns. Look at what happened exactly 7 years before, 1906. The San Francisco earthquake, God's judgment on a city of wealth and pride. Then 7 years later, the financial system that would eventually enslave the nation, the Shemitah pattern, the biblical blueprint playing out in American history. And you're living in it right now. Your credit score, your debt-to-income ratio, your ability to access the system. It's all part of the beast's economic structure that Revelation warned would control buying and selling in the last days. I want to show you something that most believers have never connected. The two witnesses of Revelation chapter 11 will prophesy for 1,260 days. They'll have power to strike the earth with plagues, to turn waters to blood, to shut up the heavens, and they'll be killed in the great city. But here's the mystery hidden in plain sight. What if the great city isn't just Jerusalem? What if it's the global financial system centered in places like London? The paradigm reveals something shocking. These witnesses speak against the economic structure. They prophesy judgment on Babylon. They warn God's people to come out before it's too late. And for that testimony, they're killed, silenced, destroyed financially, cut off from the system. Just like Revelation describes, their bodies lie in the street, and the whole world celebrates because those who tormented them are finally gone. Think about it. Who gets celebrated when they're silenced? Conspiracy theorists, prophetic voices, those who warn against the system. When they're removed from platforms, frozen out of banking, destroyed economically, the world rejoices. Because the truth they spoke was uncomfortable, it challenged the prosperity everyone depends on. It threatened the Babylon that provides wealth and security and retirement and medical insurance. The Harbinger warned us about this pattern. I wrote about the 9 signs that appeared after 9/11, ancient Israelite judgments manifesting in America. But there's a deeper mystery I didn't fully reveal then, a mystery connecting those judgments to the financial system itself. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 10. The bricks have fallen down, but we will rebuild with dressed stone. The fig trees have been felled, but we will replace them with cedars. That was Israel's response to judgment, defiance, rebuilding bigger, stronger, better. And America did the exact same thing. Leaders stood in the ruins and quoted that exact verse without realizing they were pronouncing judgment on themselves. But here's what the ancient template reveals. The rebuilding they spoke of wasn't just physical buildings, it was the financial system. After 2001, they inflated the economy, expanded credit, created a bubble that had to burst, and it did. Exactly 7 years later, 2008, the Shemitah year, the year of release when debts are forgiven and the land rests. But instead of accepting that release, instead of allowing the natural correction, they inflated again. More debt, more credit, more money printing. And now we're in another cycle, another 7 years, another Shemitah approaching, and the debt is unpayable. $33 trillion. Your share, every American citizen, is $99,000. Money you never borrowed, debt you never created, but you're enslaved to it nonetheless. According to the Hebrew understanding, debt is slavery. Proverbs 22:7 says the borrower is slave to the lender, not like a slave, is a slave. Your credit cards, your student loans, your car payments, your mortgage, each one is a chain. Each one binds you to the system. Each one makes you dependent on Babylon continuing. Because if Babylon falls, if the system collapses, if your bank freezes your account, you lose everything. Your house, your car, your ability to buy food, everything, unless you've prepared, unless you've built your life on something other than financial security, unless you've learned to trust God more than you trust your savings account. The biblical blueprint is clear. Come out of her, my people, Revelation 18, verse 4. Don't participate in her sins. Don't share in her judgment. That's not a suggestion. That's a command. That's God telling you right now to recognize what system you're in and separate yourself before judgment falls. The mystery of the Great Reset connects directly to this ancient template. The World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, bringing together the most powerful financial leaders in the world. They're openly planning a complete restructuring of the global economy. They call it the Great Reset, a new financial system for the 21st century, digital currency, social credit scores, carbon credits tied to your ability to spend money, and it's being presented as progress, as solving problems, as creating equity and sustainability. But the paradigm reveals what it really is, the final stage of the beast system, the mechanism through which the mark will be implemented, the structure through which buying and selling will be controlled. Revelation 13, verse 17, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast, or the number of its name. We're watching this system being built right now. The technology exists. The legal framework is in place. The infrastructure is ready. All that's missing is the crisis that makes it necessary, and that crisis is coming. The debt bubble has to burst. The Shemitah cycle demands it. The biblical blueprint guarantees it. On the Hebrew calendar, we're living in the most significant period since the 1st century. Israel was reborn in 1948. Exactly 70 years later, 2018, the American embassy moved to Jerusalem. 70 years. A biblical generation, the generation that Jesus said would not pass away until all these things have happened. We're that generation. We're living in the time of fulfillment, and the financial system is at the center of it all, because the Antichrist doesn't conquer with armies. He conquers with economics. He offers a solution to global chaos. He promises security and prosperity and peace, and most people, including most Christians, will accept it gratefully. They'll take whatever mark or ID or digital currency is required because the alternative is losing access to everything. No banking, no buying, no selling, no medical treatment, no food, nothing. And faced with that choice, they'll rationalize. They'll find theological justification. They'll convince themselves it's not really the mark, but Revelation is clear about the consequences. Eternal torment, no rest day or night. The wine of God's fury poured full strength. It's not symbolic, it's literal, and the choice is coming. The ancient template shows us exactly how this will unfold. First, a crisis, economic collapse, the debt becoming unpayable, banks failing, markets crashing, your retirement disappearing, your insurance becoming worthless, your savings evaporating, chaos, fear, desperation, then a solution, a new system, a better system, a digital system where this can never happen again, where everything is tracked and managed and controlled, where the mark ensures fairness and security for everyone, and most people will accept it immediately because they're desperate, because they're scared, because they need to feed their families. But Revelation 14, verses 9 through 11, warns what happens to those who take it. They will drink the wine of God's fury. They will be tormented with burning sulfur. The smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. There will be no rest day or night. That's the consequence. That's the price. That's what you'll pay for choosing economic security over faithfulness to God. And you need to decide now, before that moment comes, what you're going to choose. Because in the moment, the pressure will be overwhelming. I discovered something in London that connected all of this in a way I never expected. There's a street called Threadneedle Street. That's where the Bank of England sits. Now, most people think it's just a name, but according to the Hebrew understanding of symbols, everything means something, the needle and thread. In ancient mystical practices, threading the needle meant piercing the veil between worlds, between the physical and spiritual realms, between what's seen and what's unseen. The merchants who named that street, who built that bank, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were creating a gateway, a spiritual portal through which demonic power could flow into the economic system. Sound extreme? Look at the evidence, the dragon symbols, the occult geometry, the timing on the Hebrew calendar, the Shemitah patterns, the fulfillment of Revelation's prophecies. It's all there, hidden in plain sight, the biblical blueprint revealing itself to those who have eyes to see. Your health insurance is part of this system too. Medical treatment in America costs more than anywhere else in the world, not because the care is better, because the system is designed to extract maximum wealth. Your premiums increase every year, your deductibles rise, your copays multiply, and if you don't have insurance, a single hospital visit can bankrupt you. This is not healthcare, this is wealth extraction. And Revelation connects it directly to Babylon. Chapter 18, verse 23 says, "By your magic spell, all the nations were led astray." A magic spell, pharmakia in Greek, where we get pharmacy, medication, the pharmaceutical system, the medical industry. It's all part of how Babylon controls you, makes you dependent, keeps you enslaved. You need insurance to access treatment. You need money to pay premiums. You need a job to get money. You need to participate in the system to survive. The ancient template shows this pattern throughout history. Every empire, every kingdom, every beast system, they all use the same mechanisms: economic dependence, medical control, financial pressure. And it always ends the same way, with the faithful being forced to choose between the system and their souls. The paradigm reveals that we're in the final Shemitah cycle before the return. I can't give you exact dates. I can't tell you the day or the hour, but I can show you the patterns. I can reveal the ancient template. I can point to the biblical blueprint and say, we're here, right here, at the convergence point, where all the prophecies meet, where all the timelines intersect, where the financial system and the spiritual battle and the end times events all come together. And most Christians are completely unprepared. They're building their security on Babylon, trusting their retirement accounts, depending on their insurance policies, planning for a future that Revelation says will collapse in 1 hour. 1 hour. Everything you worked for, gone. Everything you saved, vanished. Everything you trusted, destroyed. Unless you've built on the rock. Unless you've laid your foundation on faith instead of finances. Unless you've learned to depend on God instead of the system. I want you to understand something about the mark of the beast. Most prophecy teachers will tell you it's a microchip, a tattoo, something obvious and forced. But what if it's more subtle? What if it's gradual? What if it's presented as convenient and helpful and necessary? Your smartphone already tracks everything you do. Your banking app records every transaction. Your credit score determines your access to housing and transportation and sometimes employment. You're already living in a system that monitors and controls through economic mechanisms. The mark isn't introducing something new. It's just making official what's already happening in practice. It's requiring you to pledge allegiance to a system you've already been participating in voluntarily. And that's what makes it so dangerous, because people will take it thinking it's just the next logical step, just upgrading their payment system, just getting the new ID everyone else has, just being practical and responsible. They won't recognize it as the mark until it's too late, until they've already accepted it, until they're already bound by it eternally. The Harbinger showed us that God gives warnings before judgment. He sent Isaiah to warn ancient Israel. They didn't listen. He sent Jeremiah. They rejected him. He sent prophet after prophet. And finally, judgment came, exactly as prophesied, exactly as warned, and now he's warning America, warning the Western Church, warning everyone who will listen, the Shemitah cycles, the financial collapses, the debt crisis, the rise of digital currency, the push for global economic control. These are all warnings, all signs, all harbingers of what's coming. And the question is whether you'll listen, whether you'll heed, whether you'll prepare, or whether you'll go the way of ancient Israel, ignoring the warnings, trusting in your own strength, believing that somehow you'll be the exception, that judgment won't touch you, that you can stay in Babylon and escape her plagues. But Revelation says otherwise. It says, come out. It says separate. It says don't participate. And it promises that those who don't listen will share in her judgment when it falls. According to the Hebrew calendar, there are appointed times, Moedim, divine appointments when God acts in history, Passover, Pentecost, the Day of Atonement. These aren't just Jewish holidays, they're prophetic templates. Jesus fulfilled the spring feasts at his first coming, died on Passover, rose on first fruits, sent the Spirit on Pentecost, and the pattern reveals that he'll fulfill the fall feasts at his second coming, the Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles. We're living in the season of these fulfillments. The biblical blueprint shows us the timing, not the exact day, not the precise hour, but the season, the period, the generation, and everything I've shown you about London, about the financial system, about the beast's economic structure. It all fits into this timing. It all aligns with the Hebrew calendar. It all confirms that we're in the final chapter of human history before the Messiah returns. Your investment portfolio won't survive what's coming. I'm telling you this as clearly as I can. Financial advisors are planning based on assumptions that don't account for prophetic fulfillment. They assume the system continues, that markets recover, that retirement is possible, but the ancient template shows otherwise. Every beast system in history has collapsed. Every mystery Babylon has fallen. Every financial empire has crumbled. Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, the Medo-Persian Empire, Greece under Alexander, Rome at its height, all of them fell, all of them burned, all of them disappeared into history, and modern Babylon will be no different. In fact, it will be worse, because this is the final one, the last beast, the ultimate expression of human rebellion against God, and its judgment will be complete. Revelation 18 describes it, the merchants weeping, the wealth vanishing, the smoke rising, all in 1 hour. Your 401k won't help you then. Your savings account won't save you. Your insurance policy won't protect you. Only faith matters. Only your relationship with God. Only having built your life on the rock instead of the sand. The mystery of the 7 years keeps appearing throughout Scripture. 7 years of famine in Egypt. 7 years to build the temple. 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of lack. The Shemitah cycle of 7 years. 70 years of Babylonian captivity, which is 7 times 10. 7,000 years of human history, from creation to the millennium. The pattern is constant. The biblical blueprint is exact. And we're living in a 7-year cycle right now. The last one? I don't know. But the convergence of signs suggests we're very close. The debt crisis, the push for digital currency, the rise of artificial intelligence and global control systems, the persecution of believers increasing worldwide, Israel surrounded by enemies, the nations gathering against Jerusalem, all of it happening simultaneously, all of it fitting the ancient template, all of it revealing that time is short. The dragon guarding London's financial district is not decorative folklore. It's a spiritual declaration, a statement of authority, a claim of ownership. And according to the Hebrew understanding of spiritual warfare, symbols matter, names matter, declarations matter. When you put a dragon, the symbol of Satan himself, as the guardian of your financial system, you're making a statement about who that system serves, who empowers it, who will ultimately be worshipped through it. And that's exactly what Revelation prophesies. The dragon gives authority to the beast. The beast demands worship. And those who refuse, who won't take the mark, who won't participate in the system, they can't buy or sell. They're cut off, excluded, forced to depend entirely on God for provision. And most Christians today can't imagine living that way, can't conceive of life outside the system, can't trust God enough to refuse economic security. That's why so many will take the mark, not because they're evil, because they're afraid, because they've built their entire lives on financial security instead of faith. Hidden in plain sight, the paradigm reveals that your credit score is training you for the mark system. Think about how it works. A number assigned to you, following you everywhere, determining your access to major life necessities, forcing you to behave in certain ways to maintain it, penalizing you for mistakes or non-compliance, and everyone accepts it. Everyone structures their life around it. Everyone sacrifices freedom for the access it provides. You avoid risks to protect your score. You stay in jobs you hate to maintain income that protects your score. You don't speak up about injustice because losing your income would hurt your score. The system is training you, conditioning you, preparing you for the moment when a similar number, a similar mark, will be required for all economic activity. And because you've already been living this way for years, decades even, you'll barely notice the transition. You'll take the mark thinking it's just the next version of what you've already accepted, and by then, it'll be too late. The ancient template shows that every major prophetic fulfillment involves both a spiritual reality and a physical manifestation. The Exodus wasn't just about leaving Egypt geographically, it was about leaving slavery spiritually. The Babylonian captivity wasn't just about physical exile, it was about spiritual adultery and judgment. The destruction of the temple wasn't just about a building, it was about God's presence departing from a rebellious people, and the coming fall of modern Babylon won't just be about economic collapse, it will be about spiritual separation, about God's people finally coming out, finally separating from the world system, finally building their lives on faith instead of financial security. That's the real crisis coming, not just the loss of money, but the test of what you really trust, what you really worship, what you really serve. And most believers today are failing that test without even realizing they're taking it. I need to tell you something that's going to sound harsh. The prosperity gospel has prepared an entire generation of Christians to take the mark by teaching that God wants you wealthy, that faith produces financial blessing, that prosperity is proof of righteousness. It's created a theology where poverty becomes sin, where lack becomes evidence of weak faith, where suffering becomes failure, and when the choice comes between the mark and poverty, between the system and suffering, those believers will take the mark. They'll justify it theologically. They'll say God wants them to provide for their families, that He doesn't want them to suffer unnecessarily, that He'll understand their compromise. But Revelation gives no such exceptions, no theological loopholes, no escape clauses. It says plainly that those who take the mark will drink the wine of God's fury, will be tormented forever, will have no rest day or night. The prosperity gospel is literally preparing people for eternal damnation by teaching them to value comfort over obedience, wealth over faithfulness, security over sacrifice. The biblical blueprint shows us that remnant believers have always faced this choice. Daniel's 3 friends in the fiery furnace: take a knee to the image or burn. They chose burning. Daniel in the lion's den: stop praying or die. He chose dying. The early church under Roman persecution: burn incense to Caesar or face the arena. Thousands chose the arena, chose lions over compromise, chose torture over denying Christ, and we honor them. We tell their stories. We call them heroes of faith. But would we do the same? When it's not incense to Caesar but access to your bank account, when it's not bowing to an idol but accepting a digital ID, when it's not denying Christ verbally but just participating in a system everyone else uses, that's when faith costs something. That's when you find out what you really believe. That's when the wheat is separated from the chaff. And I'm telling you, the harvest is coming. The separation is near. And most Christians are not prepared for how difficult that choice will be. On the Hebrew calendar, we just passed through significant dates that align with everything I've shown you. The Shemitah year, the Jubilee approaching, the prophetic timeline converging, and the financial signs are everywhere. Inflation eating your savings, interest rates crushing borrowers, banks failing, markets unstable, debt spiraling out of control. These aren't just economic problems, they're prophetic indicators, warnings from God that the system is about to collapse, that Babylon's judgment is imminent, that time is running out to come out before she falls. And yet most believers are still investing in their retirement accounts, still taking on more debt, still building their security on sand, still trusting in wealth that will vanish in 1 hour when judgment comes. The harbinger warned us. The paradigm reveals it. The ancient template confirms it. And now I'm warning you. Get out. Come out of Babylon. Start building your life on something eternal, something that can't be taken, something that will survive the collapse. The mystery of London is ultimately the mystery of where you place your trust. Will you trust the dragon-guarded financial system or the Lamb who was slain? Will you build your security on Babylon or on Zion? Will you serve Mammon or serve God? Jesus said you cannot serve both. Not should not. Cannot. It's impossible. They demand conflicting allegiances, opposite values, different kingdoms. And the choice you make determines not just your earthly future, but your eternal destiny. Because when the mark comes, and it is coming, those who trust in financial security will take it. Those who trust in God will refuse it, and that refusal will cost everything: your access to banking, your ability to buy food, your health insurance, your home, your job, everything the world values, everything Babylon provides, everything you've worked your whole life to build. It will all be gone, unless you've already let it go, unless you've already counted it as loss for the sake of Christ, unless you've already died to the life Babylon offers and been reborn into the life God promises. According to the Hebrew, there's a word for this choice. It's called teshuvah, repentance, but not just feeling sorry. Actually turning around, changing direction, going a different way. That's what coming out of Babylon means, not just agreeing that the system is corrupt, actually changing how you live, how you spend, how you save, how you build security. It means turning from trusting in money to trusting in God, from building on financial security to building on faith, from participating in Babylon to separating yourself spiritually and preparing for what's coming. That's teshuvah. That's repentance. That's what God is calling his people to do right now before judgment falls. And time is running out. The Shemitah cycle is progressing. The debt is unpayable. The system is unstable. The technology for the mark is ready. The infrastructure is in place. All that's missing is the crisis. And it's coming. I'm telling you as clearly as I can. It's coming. And you need to be ready. Need to have already chosen. Need to have already built your life on the rock, so that when the storm hits, you don't get swept away with everyone else. The paradigm reveals one final piece of this mystery. London is not just connected to end times prophecy. It is the physical manifestation of the spiritual structure Revelation warned about. The 7 hills, the dragon symbols, the occult geometry, the financial control, the global reach, the power over buying and selling. It's all there, all documented, all undeniable. And it's been there for 700 years, centuries of planning, generations of building, all leading to this moment, to the final stage, to the implementation of the mark, to the choice you'll have to make. And most people have no idea. Most Christians are completely unaware. Most believers think Babylon is still future, still distant, still something to worry about later. But I'm telling you, it's here. You're living in it. You're participating in it. Your money flows through it every single day, and God is calling you out. Right now, today, while there's still time, while you can still choose, while the mark is still optional. Because soon it won't be. Soon it will be mandatory. Soon it will be required for all economic activity. And in that moment, your choice will reveal what you truly worship. This is my warning to you. The ancient secret connecting London to the end times is that the global financial system is the beast's economic structure. The one Revelation prophesied, the one that will demand worship and enforce the mark, the one that will collapse in judgment, taking everyone down with it who didn't come out in time. You need to see this, need to understand this, need to recognize what system you're in, and make a choice. Will you come out? Will you separate spiritually? Will you stop building your security on financial prosperity and start building on faith? Will you trust God more than your retirement account, more than your insurance policy, more than your credit score? Or will you stay in Babylon and hope for the best? Hope that somehow you'll be the exception? Hope that judgment won't touch you? But hope is not a strategy. Faith requires action. Obedience requires response. And the warning is clear. Come out of her, my people. Come out before it's too late, before the plagues fall, before judgment comes, before the mark becomes mandatory and you're forced to choose between your soul and your bank account. The biblical blueprint has been laid out before you, the ancient template revealed, the mystery unveiled, hidden in plain sight for centuries, waiting for this generation to see it and respond. And now you know. Now you've seen the connection. Now you understand what London represents, what the financial system really is, what's coming, what choice you'll face. And you can't unknow this, can't unsee it, can't pretend you weren't warned. All you can do is respond. And I'm praying that you'll respond with faith, with courage, with radical trust in God over the system. because that's what will be required. Nothing less will survive. Nothing less will stand. Nothing less will keep you faithful when the pressure comes. So respond now. Make the choice now. Start building differently now. Before it's too late. Before the crisis hits. Before the mark is implemented. While there's still time to come out of Babylon and build your life on the eternal rock of God's promises. Have you seen these patterns in your own life? Have you felt that uneasiness about the system? Have you sensed that something is deeply wrong with building your security on debt and financial prosperity? Comment below. Share what you're seeing. Tell me if this resonates, because you're not alone. There are others who understand, others who see clearly, others who are preparing, and together we can support each other through what's coming. So comment, subscribe, share this message with everyone who needs to hear it, because the warning is urgent, the time is short, and your eternal destiny hangs in the balance. Choose wisely, choose faithfully, choose God over Babylon, and watch what he does with those who trust him more than money.